Hey everyone, welcome back to the Poplar Report. We got an urgent update out there, and this goes out especially to people like my parents who are living in Florida. Friends, you need to be paying attention because this has just gotten off the charts. Hurricane Milton is now a Category 5 storm. It is going to be the largest, most powerful storm to hit Tampa since 1848. We're talking about a major hurricane, and just because you're inland, don't think that you're safe. Ron DeSantis is saying that this will exit the other side of Florida as a hurricane. It's going to hit the east coast of Florida as a hurricane as it exits. This is going to be massive and huge. Friends, they're begging people to start evacuating. You need to listen. I got a bunch of specifics, a bunch of information. If you choose to shelter in place, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on what to stock up on. Also, a lot of people down in the comment section are going to be trying to help you, talk to you about evacuation areas, as well as other tips on what to do to be prepared in Florida. Let's jump into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade. I am safe from Milton, but we got a hurricane coming at us here in Spain as I am hiking the Camino de Santiago. But the important thing that we're talking about here is what's going on in Florida with all the storm impacts in Georgia, as well as up north from there, from Florida Panhandle on up. We're looking at, it looks like Florida proper is going to be hit hard, right in the nose, right in Tampa. This has not happened for a very long time. In documented history, once, and that is in 1848. Once we start having to talk about the 1800s, friends, that tells you how serious of a storm this is. A Category 5, it now has sustained winds of 160 miles per hour, and it's still gaining strength. We're expecting this to hit Tampa. It looks like it's going to be Wednesday afternoon, evening. Now, exactly when does it hit? When we're talking about the eye of the storm hitting the coast, you're going to see a lot of impacts before that. We're going to see a lot of impacts across the Florida coastline well into Wednesday morning. And once we start seeing this storm really plowing into the coast, we're going to see a massive storm surge. Estimates right now are 8 to 12 feet storm surge. But I expect that number to go up. I am not a meteorologist, but it sounds like with the way this is intensifying, that storm surge may not have been updated for the most recent numbers that we're seeing out there. All right, so Category 5, this is the 12th Category 5 hurricane that has hit from the Gulf Coast. This is not just a powerful storm, but it's coming at a weird angle. It's coming at a different way. And if this does tack northward, which most tracks are not estimating it to do so, it could also run right through the same areas that Helene hit. So this is a big problem. Hopefully, for the sake of the impacted areas up in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, all that, and those impacted parts of Florida, hopefully this storm goes right through Florida and goes out into the Atlantic Ocean. That seems like the best case scenario right now. I mean, we can always hope for it spins back into the, the Gulf or just fizzles out, but that doesn't seem like those are likely options. It looks like it's going to barrel into Tampa and it's going to do a whole bunch of damage across the state. Like I said, Governor DeSantis is warning people. Just because you're inland does not mean you're protected. It is going to exit the other side of Florida as a hurricane. It's not going to rapidly rip to shreds into a tropical storm over over Florida. Like a lot of times it kind of comes up and brushes the coast, and that kind of, makes it spin out. This is going to lose a lot of intensity and lose a lot of strength as it crosses over Florida. but this is still going to be a hurricane when it comes out the other side, which means the East Coast needs to be concerned about what that's going to look like, and people between Tampa and the Space Coast are basically going to have to be concerned about this as well. All the middle countries, middle states, areas, as well as places like even as north as Orlando. This is going to go right into a major population center. We're already hearing that the state is begging people to evacuate. They're not ordering people to evacuate just yet. I have not heard of any specific orders, but keep your ear to the ground on that. If you're in a bunch of the areas right on the coast, you may get mandatory evacuation orders very soon, or they may be out already that I just missed. This is probably going to be the largest evacuation in years. This is going to be, the Florida roads are going to be choked full of people heading north, all heading into the damage zones up north. So this is going to complicate rescue efforts up north. It's going to it's going to complicate the evacuations of people from the south. Right, my parents, even right now are even potentially considering coming up to my place in Pittsburgh. That goes right through a lot of North Carolina and the storm damage there. Now they can just go up the coast and then cut across, but we're discussing that even now. There is significant threats out there. So first thing, friends, if you are safe, if your family members are safe, if your people are safe, you can fix all the other stuff, right? But if a tree falls on your house, if a tree branch goes through your window, or something else catastrophic happens, it's not just the wind, it's what the wind carries. We repeat that again and again, and just because the wind is relatively low doesn't mean a tornado doesn't get spun off by this. So please seriously consider evacuation, and if you're going to evacuate, please consider leaving now or leaving very, very soon. Try to get out there on the roads as soon as you can so you can leave the roads open for other people so you don't get stuck on the road. Make sure that in your car you have enough supplies, right? In case your car gets stuck somewhere, make sure you have enough supplies in your car, and make sure you have the clothes and stuff that you need, and also personal documents. Super important stuff. Whatever happens to all the rest of your possessions, make sure you got your passports, birth certificates, marriage certificates, insurance papers, all that kind of stuff like that, deeds to things. Make sure you have those papers with you. Evacuation. Seriously consider that depending on how close you are to the storm. 2, if you decide to stay where you are, excuse me, I am not doing well. I got slammed with rain today. I got two storms I got caught out in the open by. Anyway, those were minor troubles. But it's not good for my health, and that's why I'm coughing up a lung. Anyway, if you choose to stay in place, do you have fuel to run your generators? Hopefully you have a generator. Do you have fuel to run your generators? 2, do you have battery packs? Can you recharge your phones? Recharge your phones with battery packs, and then you can recharge the battery packs and your phones at the same time with a generator. Excuse me. So, fuel for your generators, fuel for your vehicles. Do you have that? Get it now. Batteries. Batteries to recharge your phones, batteries to run other things, batteries for your lights. I'm talking about AA's. I'm talking about battery banks. I'm talking about bigger, larger battery packs for lighting and running your refrigerator and everything like that. Don't be going out and buying refrigerated food right now. Be having a steak eating party right now. Whatever you got in the freezer right now, you should be eating. as much as you can, and you should be replacing that stuff with bottles of water or containers of water that will freeze and give you more containers in there, and be prepared to cook up the rest of your frozen goods. If you can't keep it frozen, be prepared to cook all that and either preserve it another way or share it with people or whatever. If you're going to stock up on fuel, stock up on water, get some batteries. Make sure you have phone numbers and contacts, people that you need to be in contact with, or organizations, businesses, that kind of thing. Make sure you have those phone numbers. Have them on paper if at all possible. Beyond that, water. Water is the big deal. Fill up all of your containers. Right now, you can get free water out of the tap of your sink, okay? If you have a water bob for your bathtub, fill it up. If you don't need it, then praise the Lord. If you need it, you're going to need all of the water that you possibly can have. If you have some clean 5-gallon buckets, fill them up. If you have buckets that are unclean, fill them up anyway. Why? For washing purposes, right? Do you have enough soap and stuff to hand wash things as needed? You're going to need water for cleaning things. You're going to need water for drinking, water for cooking. Do you have enough propane to cook with? Do you have a solar heat cooker? Do you have ways of cooking your food? Are you prepared to eat cold food? Do you have food that's conducive to cold food? Canned goods, of course. Right now is late in the season. It's probably too late for some of these things, but you can go out and try to fill some gaps right now as you can. Any bottles that you have, food grade bottles, soda bottles, whatever that you have that you can fill up with water, even fill up pitchers, fill up whatever you got. Fill it up with water, tap water right now, because if you lose your tap water, that water will be worth solid gold, okay? Until they start bringing bottled water into you, which may be multiple days, especially since they already have a massive disaster that they're responding to. I know that we have an all hands on deck call out across Southern Baptist for Hurricane Helene. So what assets are going to be available for this? Less. It's going to be a stretch to all disaster relief teams out there and organizations. If you think that they don't have enough people on Helene, I promise you they will have even less for this hurricane now. So Milton is going to be a massive problem for Florida. It's going to be a massive problem for disaster relief organizations. When I was down in Florida, we were not supposed to go to Florida before, but because a hurricane hit Texas and did some damage there and pulled some relief people in, we were thinking about going there, but then we weren't going to go there. And then when the hurricane hit Florida, that's when it was like, Pennsylvania, you need to go to Florida, because a lot of our other organization assets are taken up going to Texas. We have less assets now available. We need basically everyone else go to Florida. And so we did. Then the hurricane hit Puerto Rico and everyone was just like, what? And Red Cross was like, we're tapped out. We're just not going to show up to Puerto Rico. And everyone was there like, wait, you're just not going to show up at all? And Red Cross was like, no, we're not going to. We're already involved in 2 hurricane years. We don't have any more resources. We're done. And so it was left up to faith organizations to respond to Puerto Rico, which is why Puerto Rico got, that was during the Trump presidency. And that's why Trump was looking at activating military resources and stuff like that to do that, because all the organizations were just kind of like, we don't have anything left to give. And we're going to see that with Hurricane Milton here. We're going to see a lot of organizations were already 100% committed to Helene, and they're all going to go, what can we shift over? And where are we going to get this stuff? So if you're in the path of this hurricane, realize that the response to your hurricane is going to be complicated. It's going to take even more time, and less assets, less resources are going to be deployed than a normal hurricane. And this is going to hit Tampa directly. This is going to be a massive humanitarian crisis like we haven't seen in decades. This is going to make Katrina possibly look small. So, with that in mind, please seriously consider leaving. If you don't, be prepared to be on your own for a while. I hope that's not the case, but you need to be prepared for it. All right, friends, if you are folks outside these areas, if you know people in those areas, please be reaching out to anyone you know in Florida, offering them your home, offering them a place to go, if at all possible, letting them know that if they know of someone who needs a place, that you might be able to consider talking with them and offering them a place to stay. They don't need much. We're talking about the equivalent of a hotel room or something like that. So if you have a place that they can crash, bathroom that they can use for a few days, please consider opening up your home or giving offerings along those lines. And friends, I expect that when this thing hits land, we're going to see some pretty intense things. And that means there will be tremendous needs. And I know a lot of you guys have given a lot to Hurricane Helene, but we're going to need to open up our hearts even more, potentially for a lot of people down in Florida. All right, friends, that's what I got for you. Hopefully, if you're in Florida area, you're listening. If you're not in the Florida area, I hope you're listening too. Let's reach out and help anyone we can right now with evacuations and with alternative locations. All right, friends, thanks so much for watching. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up here. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you guys later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.